Welcome everybody to the N Word for Nerd podcast. Yes, Jason is talking over us because we just finished doing the outtakes and getting all of our energy out. And so now we're going to do the show here for you guys. Before we jump right into the show, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and follow us on YouTube, Facebook. Most importantly, follow us on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and etc. We're going to start giving you some of our segments on our podcast siting as well, not only on our Facebook and YouTube parts of it as well. Also, we are going to start coming out with some shirts and some merch. We'll let you know in future episodes about that. So, to my net record, this is episode 25. We've made it, 1/4 of 100.
Quarter
Jared,
of 100.
how does it feel to make it this far, man?
I'm glad that our podcast is not only old enough to drink, but damn near close to being able to rent a car.
All right, and Jason, how's it feel to be, at the 25th episode?
We're almost off our parents' insurance. Hell yeah, we can go have that existential crisis. We have to realize that our hospital bills are like $3,000.
Let's celebrate with a skydiving trip.
All right, we'll jump in. We're going to dive right into this week's first topic. Our top 3 is going to be top 3 Bond girls, and this is for No Time to Die coming out recently. And so let's go ahead and start with you, Jason. What is your number 3 Bond girl?
My number 3 Bond girl, Pussy Galore. I think that's self-explanatory. Like, how did they get away with that shit? In the 1960s, they named a character Pussy Galore.
Yeah, but in the 60s, Pussy was it wasn't as impactful.
Oh, that was just a normal name you name your kids? Hey, this is my child, Pussy.
Yeah.
This is my son, Pussy.
People introduce their wives as Pussy, yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. But Pussy Galore, I love her.
I'll admit, outside of the name, I'm not a huge fan of her. But I mean, everything is in the name, so why hate? Jaren, go ahead. What is your number 3?
So You Only Live Twice. It was Aki, played by Akiko Wakasawa. I'm gonna butcher that last name, so I'm just gonna stop right now. Absolutely fantastic, strong-minded, adorable, even with the bouffant hairdo. Of the time.
Of course, Jaren picks an Asian woman.
Oh, there's more than one. Yeah. Let's go.
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm taking one of his. I'm going with Wan Lin, Michelle Yeoh for Tomorrow Never Dies. For me, I always tell people, like, for me, Pierce Brosnan is the Bond I knew first before I knew anything else, because when I grew up, that was the current Bond that was running. I didn't think to go back and watch all these old movies to get caught up. So she was the first one out of Pierce Brosnan's run that I felt like was not just hot, but also could like bust ass and wasn't just there because you needed someone there for Bond just to bang. So she makes
Dr. Christmas scenario.
Yeah, she is definitely my number 3. So Jason, your number 2?
My number 2 is Natalia Simonova from GoldenEye. Speaking of Pierce Brosnan, I mean, I think one Timothy Dalton movie when I was a small child, but Pierce Brosnan was the person that introduced me to Bond. Obviously, GoldenEye was the quintessential Bond movie, and she was the quintessential Bond chick. She was smart, she was capable. Don't use her levels in the GoldenEye game as a reflection of her character, because those levels are terrible. But other than that,
For all you old people out there that actually played GoldenEye in N64.
Yeah.
I love that you're referencing almost a 25-year-old game going, hey,
her levels are terrible, but she was the one you would pick other than Abjad because she was the fastest character and she could run around really cool. So Natalia, she's my girl. Number 2.
All right, Jaren, you're number 2.
Number 2. We're going a little modern, right out of Quantum of Solace, Strawberry Fields.
Oh yeah, she's cute.
Yeah.
That's the only. She got fucking covered in oil.
Yeah, but I mean, she was a smoking ginger that, I mean, come on. and the name is great. I mean, it is what it is. That
So
well,
terrible.
I didn't know what we were basing this on, and I didn't want to go only by name because it would have been a lot of vagina and whatnot.
My first one was Pussy Galore. I didn't even think I saw that movie. All right.
So I was going purely on looks. I'm gonna be real honest.
Oh man. My number 2 is going to be Tracy Bond, the only in reality-based marriage that James Bond really had. Because the other one he had, she was actually a spy. So that's where you get Austin Powers when she flipped. Anyway, Tracy Bond was played by Diana Rigg, I believe, and I think it's on. I know here's
Queen of
on her
Thorns.
on Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Mm.
Tracy Bond. So the only Bond woman to actually lock Bond down. So
Which
she is going to be my number.
Very thematic when we come and talk about this movie that's coming up.
Yeah.
Well, were they married in this one? In the new
No,
one?
but she locked him down.
That was some lockdown.
Spoiler alert.
I don't know if that's really a lockdown without marriage.
We'll talk about it later. But dude was all
like,
I love you.
We'll argue
but he loved a lot of these broads too. That
He never told him that.
I don't know, but it says that's why I say it's my number 1. So I'm gonna go ahead, Jason. Your number 1 Bond girl.
My number 1. Speaking of women that Bond has loved, especially in this modern era, I'm gonna go with Vesper Lynn. This is the one.
God damn it! You took my number 1. So let's go ahead and round this up.
She has to be number 1. She's the one that in this series of movies. Pretty much, informs Bond's pathos on his view of women because he did in fact love her, and then she betrayed him, even though it's not really like she wanted to do it; she was forced to do it. But that fucked that dude up, and you can tell in a lot of these movies that he's still dealing with that heartbreak, and
especially in this latest one.
Yeah, especially in this latest one, and then also if you want to take this, as the whole thing as canon, as all these movies are a part of it, kind of informs you why he's such a misogynistic prick to women because he got his heart broken from Vesper Lynn. So that's why she's
I'm gonna jump on because she's my number 1.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean it's Eva Green, so we should all jump on. But with that being said, everything you said is absolutely correct. That's why she's my number 1. But also more importantly, that she's my number 1 is that in Daniel Craig, if you watch Casino Royale. He seems like, almost happy with his life. After this betrayal, the rest of them, like especially Quantum of Solace, he's a miserable human being. And
he's out there to kind of kill himself.
It's a direct reflection of that heartbreak why he's a miserable human being for the rest of this series. So yes, that's why she's my number 1, just for that big reason alone.
I left off another thing that she also pretty much not only matched his wits with James Bond, but pretty much outsmarts him as well because of she got him hook, line, and sinker. So you don't really see a lot of especially in the early movies, a lot of Bond women, not only matching up to James Bond but surpassing him, and that's also really cool.
Well, yeah, back in the day, that wasn't their
that wasn't
reason
the thing
for being there.
Yeah, you were there to look cute, and he'll have sex with you, and you probably die.
Yeah,
And
a slinky shot of you in a bed with very little on and very little coverage
to get you fired unless you had sex with him.
Yep.
Yeah, rapey.
I mean,
all right, Jaren, you're number 1.
Yeah, I mean, mine was already said, so it's just Wylan, Michelle Yeoh. I mean, she's fucking outside, just in this movie, but then outside of these movies, she's always a consummate badass. Every time she shows up, she kicks ass, she takes names, and I fucking love her for it. So call me a weeb, call me predictable, whatever.
You are a weeb, you are predictable, but you also are right.
Yeah. Also, I know she was scheduled to be in Die Another Day, but something happened contractually, so she would have been one of 2 Bond girls to ever show up in I guess now 3. But show up in a sequel. I guess this new one makes 3, but makes another 2. But anyway, so that's pretty cool with that one. And then I give my honorable mention. I just have it because I didn't have a number 1 because mine was tied with Jason's. I'm just gonna give the number 1 to the current sister that is in the new James Bond.
Yes.
I don't want to spoil anything. So the current, again, I don't want to spoil anything, yes, the current sister that is in the new James Bond, No Time to Die, is my honorable mention. And that if this list was made 3-4 years from now, she probably would be my number 1. So
she was a beast.
I'm gonna leave her.
She was way better than Halle Berry.
100%. And on that note, that's another edition of the N Word for Nerd podcast coming to you. This was a long show, guys. I know it's a lot of content. Hopefully you enjoy it. If you
30 minutes
don't,
we cut out.
yeah. It's still a long show, still a 2-hour show. Cutting that out. So with all that being said, please remember, as always, to like, share, follow us, and subscribe on Headcanon Circus everywhere: YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor FM. And if you are on YouTube, please remember to hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when we post more content. Yes. Jaron, any final words and closing words for us today?
No, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Also, if you're on YouTube and you're smashing that bell, chances are you're getting a edited down and bite-sized version of this that are broken up to smaller, easier digestible pieces. So you're not looking at, what are we at, 2 hours and 22 minutes? You're not going to be looking at that on your at that in its entirety on YouTube. Just cut out pieces that are easy, but 10 minutes, 16 minutes maybe. So, yeah, hit that bell.
All right. And Jason, any final words?
It's only 2 hours and 24 minutes. Y'all some bitches. Y'all can't sit through this. This is good content. All right. This is great shit. Tip your servers and bartenders 20%. Be kind and considerate to one another.
And that being said, we will see you all next week. Peace.